that they can trust, that'll make good decisions. That's the thing that they've missed, is a quarterback that can consistently make good decisions and can stand in the pocket and take a hit, which is something that Shedeur Sanders definitely can do.
Let's live here for just a moment, because for most of the time we've heard about Shedeur going as one of the first three picks. If we're talking about the Steelers, then that means that's the 21st pick. That means he's had to slide here. First of all, is that a good fit for Shedeur Sanders, talking about going to Pittsburgh?
It's a very good fit. And for me, the best scouting advice you can hear is from Bill Belichick. Tell me what a guy can do, not what he can't do. He said that one day about Damian Woody a couple of decades ago. Tell me what he can do. But what we know Shedeur can do is he can throw an accurate pass. He's really good under pressure. And those things are going to translate to the NFL almost immediately. This is a win-now roster. I would sign a veteran. I would sign an Aaron Rodgers type and give Shedeur a year in the system to learn the NFL game. The Big 12 to the NFL is a big jump. But what Shedeur told me a couple weeks ago was he'd rather go to the best fit than go number one overall. We don't hear that a lot from a quarterback, but guess what? I believe him. This could be a very good fit. I still like the Raiders as far as Geno being a bridge quarterback. I think that could be a better home for him, but I would love this Pittsburgh situation.
Oh, do you think sliding would be good for his career, Jayden?
Absolutely, because you tend to see the better franchise, the more stable franchises in the back half of the first round. I mean, we cited a couple of examples when Kansas City went up to get Patrick Mahomes. When Baltimore Ravens traded up in the first round to get Lamar Jackson, you just clearly see, though, when you have those type of franchises, that stable head coach, ownership, those guys are able to put their best foot forward as far as establishing their career.
Neek, how do you explain then the Shedeur slide if there is going to be one on draft day?
Yeah, I know a lot of people want to point to the fact that it's his confidence or cockiness or something about his personality that's scaring off teams. I don't think that's it at all. I think that's just completely fabricated. No one in the NFL is afraid of people who are cocky. Everyone, except for the #1 overall pick, believes they should be drafted higher. And so I think Shedeur is the only difference between him and other players is maybe he's more outspoken about it. I think the slide is probably more a result of the measurables and the I guess, traits that he has. Like, he doesn't have a super strong arm, and we're focusing a lot on his completion percentage, when that, I think, is not a trait as much as it's like a reflection of a number of things. And one of those things is that he throws a lot of short passes. Not that he's not capable of attacking down the field, but a lot of his completion percentage is made up of like RPOs and screens. So I think it's hard for NFL front offices to wrap their mind around selecting a guy who doesn't have the most obvious traits, particularly when you look at the quarterbacks that they're matching up against. Most of them, like Lamar, Patrick, Jordan Love, Josh Allen, like those guys have jump off the screen traits of his arm strength or athleticism. Something like that jumps off the screen for you. And Shedeur, despite being the son of one of the best athletes of all time, he doesn't really have those type of traits.
People talked about the cocky, talked about the confidence. Why don't you take a listen here to what Swagoo had to say about Shedeur and his mindset here on Get Up yesterday.
Every quarterback in the NFL is cocky. Every one of them is arrogant. Every one of them think that they the best thing since sliced bread. So all of this conversation that I've been listening to about Shedeur and what comes with him, it comes with all of them that are good, that play at a very high level. So this being some kind of knock and wearing jewelry and talking like he talks and operating like he operates, all of that stuff is who these guys are. So let's please stop using that against Shedeur like he's an anomaly in thinking that he got all it takes to be really good at the quarterback position.
Pretty strong. You talked about you interviewing him at the Super Bowl. You seen any red flags at all?
No, not at all. And Dominique Foxworthy was one of my very good friends. I like nothing more than disagreeing with him. And I'm so happy to disagree with him right now, because I think there are teams, Nick, who are saying, you heard me, that are saying that maybe they don't like the personality fit with Shedeur Sanders. That sounds like some of the reporting coming out of NFL draft circles right now. And I don't think those teams are fully functional. I think they're scared of their own shadow. I think he says, and he admits to this, that he has a defensive backs mentality because of who his father is. He told me he doesn't watch NFL quarterbacks to idolize them because he wants to beat them. He has a different mentality, a D-Baze mentality, a Deion Sanders mentality, and I think that's rubbing teams the wrong way, and it shouldn't, frankly. I think that Teams want to keep different prospects in a box. That's what they want to do here. That's what they always want to do. And if they see a guy who's a little outside the box, they panic. That's what they do. These teams are scared of their own shadow. I don't see any red flags with his personality. As Swagoo said, everybody's confident. If you are scared of confidence, Mr. Scout, Mr. GM, you are scared of football. If you don't think he's a very good player, if you don't like his arm strength, as Neek said, that's one thing.
Second of all, I think that sometimes the confidence doesn't match up, I think, in some people's idea with the ability, and that might be what turns some of the scouts off. But honestly, I think some of them don't know what to say. Like, honestly, if you don't like him as a player, that's fine. Like, there's plenty to like about him, and there's plenty of players that we get right and we get wrong. But I think it's probably not fair to say it's something about his personality, because I guarantee you that if he was 6'4" and ran a 4.3 and could throw a ball through a brick wall, no one would have anything to say about the way that he talks, the way that he acts. They'd be falling over themselves to get him hired. The fact of the matter is they don't believe in him as a prospect, and they're finding other reasons to point to other than the idea that maybe they just don't think he's as good as a lot of other people think he is.
Final word.
No, I think that's what it is. I think it's more about the physical attributes. It's not about all these guys are cocky. Swagger was right, but I think it's more about matching up the quote unquote swagger with the physical attributes. If scouts don't feel like they match up per se, that's why you're hearing all these whispers about Shedeur Sander.
We'll see what happens in the visit here in Pittsburgh later.
Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn câu tượng nhá. Tượng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là C2. Các bạn nguyên tượng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là 0 độ. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu tô nha. Tô màu hồng đầu tiên nhá.